Hey, I voted for Donald Trump, and really starting to regret my vote because this isn't what I voted for. I voted for a lot more people to go to jail. I voted for a lot more politicians to be stripped of their power and put in prison for the crimes that they've committed against humanity. I voted for the Epstein list to come out. The full list. The full fucking list of every politician, every bureaucrat that had anything to do with those minors.
When you're an exporter of timber or corn or hogs, sending food to China, or sending materials to China, and they have a tariff for your product and suddenly you're no longer economically competitive, that's on you. You did that. You voted for the guy who promised you he would do that. You're not allowed to be surprised.
So I admit, I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my bank accounts and go into crippling credit card debt, so that when I had an emergency, I had money set aside. So when my son's glasses break, I could actually get him new ones. I can't do any of that right now. My car broke down, and so I'm in a friend's car just to work, to continue living paycheck to paycheck. I knew it was going to be hard, and that it wasn't going to come fast. I just wish that things would work out better. I really regret that everything is taking so long because there's so much pushback, because I don't even know the reasons anymore. I don't understand why good things have to be trampled on. I don't know why good people have to be trampled on. I don't want a lot. I just want to be comfortable. I just want to not live paycheck to paycheck. I just want to be able to live and work. I work 7 days a week to not even make ends meet sometimes, and my car broke down and I have a few $1,000s worth of repairs to do on it. My son's glasses broke and I can't even take him to the eye doctor. I just want to get past the hard part. I want to get to the part where it's not just crippling. I know he's working on it. I know that it's gonna get better, and that it wouldn't have been any better with anybody else. I just really needed things to start working again. They're still not. I mean, I owe more in taxes this year, which is just more debt that I can't pay. And I have to pay. It's just another $100 or so a month that I can't afford. So no, I guess I really don't regret voting for Donald Trump. I just regret that his changes didn't come sooner. I just need relief. I need the good things to start coming. I know it's coming. I just need it sooner rather than later right now. Good vibes, everybody. Thank you. And yeah, thanks.
Hey everyone, it's Nick from Rika's Tech. Today we are talking about senior MAGA voters, the same people who once screamed, "Make America Great Again." Wow. Now, many of them are drowning in their own tears, regretting voting red. They thought they were protecting their freedom and the future, but instead they are struggling just to survive. We got more video like this. Let's get into this.
I want to preface what you're about to see by noting I am not looking for sympathy or validation here. I was just expressing some remorse and some grief and some sorrow, because I think it can help a lot of people to kind of process through that. A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that. There are moments where I'm just overcome with grief and regret. Not anger, not rage, but just grief and regret over having voted for Trump in 2016. And I get that I've come a long way. I get all that. That doesn't take away those moments. It does not take away the regret, the guilt. I mean, I can work through it, and I do that regularly for a lot of different issues, not just who I voted for in 2016, but I just wanted to document this because this is one of those moments. I just saw the Kamala Harris ad talking about how she is the president for all the people and how Trump has a history of wanting to withhold aid from people who didn't vote for him. And I was responsible. I was partly responsible for putting him in office. I was part of that crowd. And that's something I'm going to have to live with. And I will. But there are moments like right now where that can be overwhelming.
I didn't care how things were affecting others until it affected me. Am I proud of that? No. We live in a very cruel world, and sometimes the only way to survive is by being selfish. We are all just out here trying to survive as best we can. And although we may have good intentions and we may be empathetic and we may be compassionate, we will always put ourselves first because we have to survive. And if that means making a mistake in my vote or maybe putting my trust in the wrong person like I did, then that's what it means. I will always put the betterment of my family and vote in ways that I think will help my family above anyone else.
Here's the problem with voting for your self-interest. I understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you're on the bottom and none of your needs are fulfilled, you can only think of yourself. But here's the problem with that, is you voted for your self-interest. So did everybody else in the Republican Party. Think about that for a minute. You voted for your self-interest, but you don't have anything. Like, you don't have anything. Like, that's what it is. But other people, rich people, they have a lot. So, of course, they're going to vote for their self-interest because they have something. You don't. You need the tribe, right? The socialized healthcare, the socialized dental care, schools, firefighters, police officers, all socialized systems. Is it clicking yet? You voted against the tribe. You know, humans didn't make it on their own. We always existed in a tribe, taking care of each other. You could only take care of yourself if you have something, and you don't have shit.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
Yeah, so we're from South Carolina, and me and my entire family are completely regretting voting for Trump at this point. We voted for him because we did not feel like the Democrats did a good enough job getting prices down over the past 4 years, and Trump promised us over and over that prices would come down. But, you know, I was a little skeptical about all of his promises, so I checked because everyone was talking about the egg prices nonstop. So right before his inauguration, I bought a dozen eggs and they were $2.79. And then today I went to buy eggs and they were $6.09. 1 dozen eggs for $6. I mean, what? And it just seems like now everything is crashing down. Everything he said was just a lie. He never said he was gonna, you know, close down the U.S. aid. He never said that they were going to let Musk into the Treasury to get all our information. I mean, I just don't get what is even happening right now. But I definitely am regretting my vote at this point. As many other of my family and friends from South Carolina are feeling the same way. If you've got a special election coming up in your state, please go vote. We need to take back the House to rein this shit in a little bit.
A woman in West Virginia who was one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters now regrets her vote for Trump because he fired her from the federal government. Just take a look at the clip.
This flag used to hang there. This was the flag Jennifer Piggott proudly hung outside her home during campaign 2024.
We had the flag. I had the shirt. I was a MAGA junkie.
A MAGA junkie who thought her government job would be safe with Donald Trump in office. She was wrong.
I cried. It's scary, you know, it's a really scary thing, and I was embarrassed.
He's a good boy. Piggott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Piggott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged.
Yeah, she had her flag out, she wore the t-shirt, she was very much in Donald Trump's corner, and now she regrets it. She would not have voted for Donald Trump again, and you're seeing this sentiment all over the country. There were a lot of people out there who voted for Donald Trump to lower grocery prices or lower gas prices. Now, obviously, that's not happening, and instead, he's firing people from their jobs and destroying the federal government. We are already seeing a lot of regret from Trump voters, and I think that's only going to increase, just like you saw there.
Oh yeah, these people believed they promised cheaper healthcare, strong pension, more jobs, but what they got was a higher perception cost, unstable insurance, and a grocery bill that double every single month. Can you imagine? What you don't know, some of them work their entire lives, believe the system will take care of them, but they were wrong. When the retirement came, some politician they voted for slash benefit, privatized care and gave tax breaks to wealth instead. So we got some comment from different people. One woman from Ohio said, I voted for Republican all my life because I believed in hard work, but now I can't even afford medication. Another man said, we trust them to protect our savings, and now we are the ones who paying the price. Wow. The sad truth, many of these seniors are realized that the loyalty was used against them. They voted to build a system that forgot them, and now they left behind in a country that feels colder than ever. We still have another video. Let's watch them. I'll come back with a comment.
Last night I saw a compilation video of a bunch of people saying that they had voted for Donald Trump and they regret their vote. And if you happen to be one of those people out there, I hope this video reaches you. Don't worry, I'm not going to shame you or gloat because I am not a fucking liberal. But I do want to talk to you about enemies. So I hope by now you realize that you've been lied to. We have all been lied to as Americans. That's pretty much what our government does, is it lies to us. And you have been fed a narrative that the people who are your enemies are immigrants or trans people or DEI. So trans people don't have any say on the price of housing, and immigrants don't control the cost of food, and DEI is not responsible for the cost of healthcare. But do you know who is? Those are the people that are pretty much running the show. And that is across both Democrats and Republicans. And because of the power that they hold over the politicians that are supposed to represent the people, our government has now just turned into an oligarchy. So do you remember when Brian Thompson got shot by, allegedly, Luigi Mangione? And how across the entire political divide, whether people are Republicans all the way to like socialists and communists, were actually pretty happy about that happening. And then the media realized that people were actually not upset in the way that they expected. Luigi Mangione has essentially vanished from the media. So why do you think that is? I think it's because we finally realized who our enemy actually is, and seeing everybody kind of come together on this one topic scared the shit out of these people. Remember, there was a hotline in New York for CEOs that were fearful of their life. I mean, that's just laughable to me. So what we started to witness after Brian Thompson's murder was the start of what's called class consciousness, where all of these working class people who have been burned by the system that we are trapped in realized who their real enemy is. And it's not each other. They keep us fighting with each other, left versus right, red versus blue, to keep us from actually fighting who is really in charge. So I'm hoping if you are watching this video and you are not happy with the way things are happening in the country right now, that you are gaining a sense of class consciousness and realizing that your enemies are not the people that your politicians and your media are telling you they are. Like I said earlier, people like immigrants and trans people, they don't hold any power in America. And if anything, they're just like us. They are just trying to survive in this system that is killing us right now. But the people in power want you to think that they do, so that you direct your anger towards them instead of the people who you should be directing your anger towards. So where do we go from here? I don't have a direct answer for that because it kind of just depends on where you are in both in the country and where you are like in your political education. One thing I will recommend is to read books that are being banned, because anybody that tells you to not seek out information has an agenda, and it is really, really important for you to find out why they don't want you to know that information. There are probably hundreds of banned book lists that you can look up and just check them out. You know, go to your library, find out what information it is that they don't want you to know. And the next time you see the news trying to give you the narrative that your anger should be directed to a community that is marginalized and doesn't actually have power in this country, pay attention to it, because it's bullshit. I'm always going to be optimistic that this country can get its act together and we can come together and actually make a country that is what we purport to be, which is free.
These people are living proof that political royalty can come with the price. The slogans and the promises, they meant nothing when the bills arrived. You have to know that. Maybe this is the moment America finally wakes up, when even the most loyal voter realize that war don't feed their families and frag don't pay rent. So guys, thank you for watching. My name is Lick and this is Lick's Take. Subscribe, hit like and share this story because the truth deserves to be heard. I love you guys. See you on another one.